Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Campfire Talks, where we gather around the imaginary campfire and we talk with the homies on anything D&D related. Tonight, death, dice, and donuts. It's a triple D. Can't wait. And of course, I'm your host, your fellow dungeon master, Pink, aka It's Rub, aka the pinkest of Hawaiians, aka Pink Hawiwi to a lot of people. More on that in a future episode.
Yeah.
But we're
Forgot
joined
about that one,
here
actually.
by even more special people. We got the homies. We got Robert, we got Scotch, and of course we got the spectating homie Izzy. We do love Izzy here. And we're just gonna get right into it because this podcast will surely be yes. So essentially, we're gonna do a little bit of a recap, but not as specific as we usually do in the other campaign episodes, but definitely some key takeaways from the last session. And this session, like episode 7, was definitely one of the most significant ones on a combative stage because we did in fact witness 2 deaths taking place. And oh my word, it was very much a tide turner in that case. So I kind of wanted to talk with y'all about that. And we do have two very interesting perspectives because we do have one of the players here uh whose character died, and we have a character here who was a witness to the deaths that were taking place. So I wanted to talk to y'all about
I
that.
was only trying to prevent it all.
uh yeah, let's start with your character, Scorch, because Druken, the way that Druken died um was very brutal in a sense, and it didn't help that Teddy contributed towards you getting knocked out too by accident. Uh so yeah, you want to how was your first
uh,
experience doing death saves?
well, I'd like to say I did kind of deserve this. For as much as I've been saying over the last few sessions that if anybody dies, I hope it was Tunok. I do deserve it. I think there's a little bit of karma playing into that, but I am I'm bummed and I'm okay with it because like I'd love to keep playing Druken. I did in the very first podcast tell you to uh not pull your punches. If it was my time, it was my time. So again, that's my doing.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you know, I'm excited to even though nothing's been finalized with where we left off, I'm 100% going to be starting a new character. There's no doubt in my mind. So I'm looking forward to playing one of them.
Understandable.
It's
And
just
it, I mean, you're rolling death saves for the first time, and I think I can confidently say that that was probably one of the more tense things that was happening during the session, because there's a part of me that also feels very like emotionally invested into these episodes too. So when the NPC Perfect actually did in fact kill both you and Alvarez, that was definitely something where I was like, oh my goodness, like this actually just happened. In the
yeah.
7th episode of this campaign, we have already experienced now 2 deaths. But of course, you have been revived back to 1 HP. But of course, you had a bit of a dream scenario. And of course, we're going to dive more into that as we go into episode 8. Um, which actually, I do want to talk a little bit, just a little bit, for the tangent after uh, we go over to your perspective, Robert, because the episode titles are definitely starting to get a bit more intriguing. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely wanted to provide more context for the titles, and it's really shaping up to be that way. But before we get into that, from Varys's perspective, and from your perspective as well, Robert, seeing 2 characters dying, how did
Uh,
you try to absorb that? What was the initial
see,
reactions?
see, there's more to it than just 2 characters dying. right? It was the fact that we had 3 characters incapacitated at the same time. So Alvarez went down,
Yep.
and Varys kind of had this moment of, I can still save them and get back to dealing the damage that needs to be done here, because this guy is beefy as hell. And that's exactly what Varys did. They were able to get some healing off and then continue dealing damage that same turn, or get back at least in perfect space.
Yeah.
And then immediately afterwards, Alvarez, Tunok, and Terrell all go down, and Varys is standing here like, what the fuck?
Wild.
It was. Ooh.
See, because that is why, like, when it came back to my turn, I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Because I had the plan. That's why I asked about the good berries.
Yeah.
Is my plan was, okay, Tunok is down, I'm right next to him, and perfect. I can try to save Tunok, then deal damage, because I need to be dealing damage. I can't lose my turn damage-wise. So, yeah, Druken, my bad. Yeah. I was partly zoned out yesterday. Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Druken. So when they were down, I'm just like, I can save them, and that was my plan. And then
the whole thing went upside down.
Then the other 2 went down, and I'm just like,
yeah, it really then
fuck?
became. It really did become the importance of strategy at that point, and
right.
Everybody has a certain role in the team dynamic. So when the team dynamic dwindles significantly within a short period of time, it really does force other people to be more adaptive. But I think it also,
which Varys is used to.
Yes, but it also provides like just creativity and like great imagination to be involved when trying to come up with this. Now, thankfully, Varys is already a very like experienced veteran when it comes to things like this. But imagine the scenario without Varys. Imagine a what-if scenario where Varys and Teddy was not there. That would have been very different. That would have been... It could have potentially been a TPK, but I also...
No, there is no potential there. It would have been a TPK.
Well, I might have gotten up if you and Teddy hadn't been there.
Well, yeah, if Teddy didn't bite you.
Didn't bite my ass.
And the fact that there were so many nat ones that was in that session
it was unreal.
was absurd.
So Dusk had 3 consecutive.
Yep.
And then I had 2.
Yep.
On the same dice, one for Varys and one for Teddy.
Yep. Which ultimately led to Teddy.
And they were both attack rolls.
Which led to Teddy biting Druken. Or slashing Druken. I don't know if it was a slash.
No, it was a bite. I went to bite his arm because I wanted to bite his arm in an attempt to like mess with his muscles and let him release the throat. Is what the plan was, but instead Teddy missed and bit him instead.
It's absurd, but
yeah.
Here we are in this scenario, and it certainly does not make it any better that at the end of the session we have a familiar face making their return. Well, actually, two familiar faces.
Yeah,
because we had the return of Emily, and then we had the return of Preacher Davis. So this is shaping up to be kind of like the full circle moment, and the 8th episode is looking to be potentially the ending for this arc for Blood Ties. So,
or the whole campaign, if it's a whole TPK,
or a whole campaign.
Why would you put that evil on us?
I I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is going to be. When I tell you that episode 7 was key, episode 8 is now going to be incredibly significant for how the rest of this campaign is going to go. Because even if a TPK, which now the potential for a TPK is now there, we're not going to sugarcoat it. It's there. Yeah. If certain choices are made, if certain actions are not performed, yes, a TPK could be involved. Would that
You've got 3 characters at 1 hit point right now? Like...
Yeah.
Now, I will not spoil anything, but I will say that episode 8 is going to be significant, even to the point where I will have to text Alex to remain sober throughout the session, so that way we can make sure like everyone pays attention to every single detail, because when I tell you that the context of the words and the speech needs to be heavily paid attention in the next session.
Oh god.
I will not go further on this, but I will ask you to, especially, to please pay attention to every word, because I'm going to reveal this right now. This is the first time I am writing a script.
Right.
For the character, because I have to make sure if I don't follow the script, it could very well be a very chaotic episode. So there's actually a lot of pressure on my end too, to make sure that the right words are being said, so that way the campaign can continue without metagaming, without railroading, without it going south in any other variation that you could think of. So, you know, this is just what happens. This is what happens when we become so involved with stuff like this. But it's because we love doing this.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's what happens when people are actually invested. Sessions become more impactful, and even going back to what we've said before in the past, we will talk about this even after like this recording ends.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a point where we're just going to be sharing messages or inside jokes, but it's because of the amount of significance that this plays.
I mean, we already do from FSOD.
Oh yeah.
There's still inside jokes all the way back to the Minutemen trilogy and
from A Hero's Wish. Yep.
A Hero's Wish, which was only like 4 sessions long because of unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah. But, you know, going to the relevancy of significance, I think another thing that is also significant is dice.
Here we go.
Let's talk dice, because before we started the recording, we Robert, you were just talking about how my first set of dice was absolutely atrocious. So
yeah,
we want to so let's talk about our first ever dice sets, because there is incredible significance behind the dice that we use. You know, certain dice provides certain luck. There's dice that we want to keep for those nat 20 moments. There's dice that we want to put in dice jail permanently. And then we just have dice in between on either side of the spectrum that either remains mediocre or somehow significant to a certain extent. So let's talk about dice, just in general, you know, but first and foremost, the atrocity of my first dice set. You wanna recap that real quick, Robert?
I block those images from my mind because I don't want to imagine your first dice set anymore. All I know is that none of them matched. They were not a set. You went to a game store or something and just picked whatever dice you felt like from the bins. And you wound up with 6. You didn't even have all 7.
I didn't even have the percentile
dice.
I didn't even have the percentile dice. So context. So there is a bookstore that basically acts half bookstore, half like game store. And of course there's like old-fashioned like literature there, which is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that their mascot is literally an old beagle named Arnold is absolutely freaking incredible. So, you always got to pet the dog when you go in. It's mandatory. But if you were to go to the left of it, you would see that there's like plastic and glass counters where there are various games, but there's a fishbowl full of random dice. I picked from that fishbowl, making sure at the time I thought I had every single dice on hand. And I'm looking at the first dice. So even though they were mismatched, I could still pick out pretty easily the ones that I picked on that day. It's like there's an orange creamsicle D20.
Hmm.
There's a black D6 with green writing on it. There's like this emerald green with like a gold lettered with like gold numbers. And then I have like a set of D4s that are purposefully the colors closest to Shrek. And then the D10s are like granite, like dark black granite for the D10s, and it's atrocious, but I will never forget that first set because that first set got me my first ever nat 1 within the first 3 rolls of playing as a player in a friend of mine's campaign for the very first time. Lost Minds of Fandelver. I still remember it.
That was Sean running that one, right?
Yes.
Or was that the time Mark ran it?
No, that was Sean. I was Jasper. I was Jasper Clafos. I was a monk, a lizard folk monk. Yep, and that was pretty good. It's pretty good. But let's talk about your first dice set to you, Robert.
So I bought, it was either 2 or 3 dice sets all at the same time. It was actually while you were playing Lost Minds of Fandelver, and I was trying to learn D&D.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and just go through the character creation app we were using at the time just to try to learn
Yep.
Character creation and like what different things were going on, the different ability scores, and like kind of how they worked. And was just kind of watching you guys play, kind of trying to learn, and decided at some point, I'm like, all right, I have 6 characters now. I need dice if I want to use any of them.
Okay.
And I had wound up buying, it was 2 sets very similar. I don't have them in front of me at the moment. But they were both like blue with gold lettering. Well, one was like a light blue, the other was like a more royal or dark blue. And they were swirled with the gold lettering. And the third one, I don't remember if I bought it at that time or a couple weeks later, was a set that glows in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So it's glow in the dark dice.
I remember those glow in the darks. They look sick.
When they actually glowed, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was upset because I thought I had ordered a set of blue glow in the dark. As you can see, the theme, blue. That's what I was going for.
You like your blue, and I don't blame you.
But when they arrived, they were like an off green, and when they glowed, it was just a pure green glow in the dark.
Yeah.
And it was upsetting. So I those were always my reserve dice. If someone at the table needed a set, that was always the set I gave them.
Yeah.
And kept the other 2 for myself.
Yeah.
But
there's always the dice where you buy it, but you know it's for other people. You're not going to use it yourself.
Right, and that is exactly what that set is. And now, actually, my first 2 sets have also become that at this point. I have now a new set of dark blue and gray swirled dice with white lettering.
Oh, okay.
And now, most recently, actually, for my birthday last year, I was gifted a set of dice. And they are actually what I use for Varys now. This is the set that messed us up last week.
But
They are like a white with glitter in them, and they have turquoise or teal numbering on them.
Okay. Hey, you know what? We like teal.
Yeah. it's like a ice white background. And what I like a lot about these dice is any of the dice that have like a sharp edge. So the D4, the D10, the percentile die, the D8, and the D6, all of like
Yes.
the sharp, the pointed corners,
Yeah.
they're all cut out, so there's no sharp edges on any of these dice.
Gotcha. That's fair. But I think just having like a various sets, you definitely having the power of choice and having an array of dice kind of makes it more interesting, especially when you dedicate certain dice sets or even a certain die towards a specific character that you feel pertains to that die as well.
Yeah, I've done that.
And, like Scorch, like let's talk about dice, brother. Like your first set.
Well, that's a little odd for me. I've had two sets that I bought probably 2 years ago before I even knew it was going to be a part of the first campaign I was in.
Uh-huh.
Just to have them because I knew I wanted to get into D&D, and I don't really enjoy them anymore. They're like the spare dice that I set out for myself when I'm doing like multiple damage die rolls.
Yeah.
Like I used the sixes yesterday when I was using that lightning bolt. But I more recently bought a set which is the set I'm happy with off Amazon, just a set of 5 different colors that I've now corresponded them to my characters already. Like I have like the ones I put in Discord when I had gotten them.
Okay.
So I have these dark blue ones were Drukins, and I have the other 2 dice sets picked out for my reserve characters with my stuff for this campaign ready to go. But I didn't use dice really in my first campaign.
Gotcha.
I was just using the digital dice on Roll20.
Right. Using
And I like it's weird.
it
You don't
is.
get that satisfaction.
It is because like the difference between using regular dice and using digital is very different. Digital, like yes, it's a good alternate, but you're not physically holding the dice, and
No.
you're very much relying on the computer to give you a good roll. Like it's not even your roll; it's a roll that you claim for the number.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, it's a free option, but even just getting one set doesn't even have to be like a D&D specific dice set. It just has to be like a dice set. You gotta have your D6, gotta have your D8, D4.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to go to Walgreens and I can actually go in there and I can find a dice set even with a percentile die for $5. And it's like, you know what? Bet $5, you get your own physical set, and as long as you maintain it and you don't lose it, that's $5 that's gonna last you for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's essentially what I did with the first 2 ones that I have. As like it was just there. It was something on my mind. I was like, you know what? I want to do this. Let's just get them. And the options weren't anything spectacular for what I wanted to spend on dice.
I mean, you don't have to spend too much, but
I know, but like, what were these? These were $10 a piece.
That's not bad though.
It really
not-
isn't.
10 if
They
you
might have been on sale.
put $10 towards a set, like that's a good set. That's not even like a decent $10 for a set. That's a good set.
Mm.
It is kind of weird. Like the newest dice I've gotten, like out of the set that I've been using for Drukin,
Yeah.
they're like the numbers are cast differently.
Oh.
Like the numbers are in different locations on the other 2 sets I have.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I have seen that sometimes different manufacturers might have a different pattern, especially for the D20s. I've noticed it.
D20s, I've seen it more with D4s, with how D4s are formatted.
Yeah, the D4s are different. The 8s are different.
The 8s?
The
Okay.
Yeah, the 8s and the 12 are both different.
Gotcha.
I think the 20s are the same. Could be wrong. It's weird. It really threw me off when I noticed it.
Yeah,
It's just such an odd thing to see.
it is. And, despite all of this, I think all three of us could agree, dice has become such a lucrative item for so many people.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not surprised when I hear people are invested in like large 50 like a pack of 50 sets of dice for like a
Yeah.
bundle, and then people are now starting to make their own acrylic dice set and they're
Yeah.
selling it cuz good gracious, like it's another form of art that's usable too.
Oh,
And
definitely.
and I love seeing different dice designs. Some people are extremely creative. I've seen hamburger, like sandwich themed dice. I've seen like proper like ocean waves in dice. It's so cool just looking at it through Pinterest, Amazon. But oh my goodness, the amount of money people are willing to spend on dice.
The liquid
Yeah.
core dice,
Oh, liquid
the
core.
ones with liquid cores,
I
like
love those.
they are beautiful, expensive,
But
but
beautiful.
beautiful.
You get a set of liquid core. Like, it's one thing if a person like buys you a dice set, but if someone buys you a liquid core dice set, you know that person spent quite a bit, and you can't help but think, dang. Now how am I supposed to top this off, huh?
Right? What's your angle here? I'm sorry. You bought me
No,
what?
you
now?
just got me
The fuck?
liquid core, and I don't owe you anything in return? Are you sure?
Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you mean to buy a ring here? Like
do you need a kidney?
okay, yeah. Do you need a kidney or where's the ring?
Like, bro, this is like liquid core glow in
Where's
the
the
dark with
body
like
you want me to help you hide?
Yeah.
Like,
But oh my god, having a set of liquid core dice is absolutely fantastic. It's a very reliable gift. If you know a person's like a tabletop like enthusiast,
Nerd.
or they just need dice in
Call us
general.
what we are. We're nerds. You don't
Yes.
gotta tiptoe around
don't you
it.
take my title away from me? I earned it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
fine.
earned the title nerd.
Getting liquid core dice for nerds is incredibly special. It's one of those things where like it's the small things, but hey, it's a little extra special, and it's perfect. I would love to own a set of liquid core dice, please.
Yeah.
Someone give, please.
Someone give. I will set a fundraiser up.
Look. I know there's people spectating live. I hope y'all are taking notes.
Hey, Sierra, just liquid core dice.
Yeah.
Paying attention. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Izzy, liquid core dice. Thank you. Have a great day. Like,
Yes. Thank you.
nerd alert.
We are nerds. We earned that
are,
title.
in fact, nerds. Speaking of nerds, roll your d6 right now.
All right.
D6. Here we
Roll
go.
your frickin' d6.
3.
3. Okay.
I got a 5.
Scorch. You got a 3.
Yerp.
You're starting your donut with a sourdough donut. Good.
Oh, that actually sounds amazing.
Alright, Robert, what did you get?
A 5.
You got a 5? You got yourself a Long John donut. It's a long donut. Alright.
Mm.
We're starting off somewhere.
Izzy said they're stealing the liquid cores for themselves.
Wow!
They're not even gonna gift them. They're gonna buy them but keep them for themselves.
Understandable. I like shiny.
They like shiny. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Look, we're all gonna become dice goblins or dice dragons, one or the other here. So
How much?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna say this. Let me ask this then. How much money are you willing to spend on dice? Like,
on one set,
I don't know.
1 set? We're gonna say 1 set. How much are you willing to spend on 1 set?
depends on how pretty they are.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with liquid
If-
core. We're gonna go
honestly,
liquid core.
I genuinely don't know. What
If
liquid core
someone
is.
were to like say like, hey, I have this set of liquid core, but how much are you willing to give me for it?
Yeah, and like it's gotta be like pretty.
It's
Okay,
yeah,
alright,
like
let
you
me-
have to see it and like
Ugh.
no.
Alright, let
Oh my
me-
god,
alright,
that's
Probably
just-
30 though. Like if it's
yeah.
top.
Okay, let me.
If it's top, probably
Alright,
30.
let me test the waters. Let me test the waters. This is glow in the dark, oceanic blue, and there is a moving jellyfish made of gold in the middle with glitter.
Oh God, with glow in the dark. I'm sorry, you didn't say liquid core and glow in the dark.
Well, it's glow in the dark. It has glitter. It's like oceanic blue with a gold jellyfish in the middle.
honestly not doing it for me.
Not doing it for you. Okay.
No,
Robert, you had a very
that's
different reaction.
Not interesting.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, you said blue.
I did say blue. I did say blue.
And liquid core
And
Yeah.
I just
and
see
glow in the dark.
I just see like gasp in the
You
chat.
you said you hit his 3 points.
I wasn't even trying to. That was just me
Jeez.
like going off the top of my head. What is like okay, so let's go with this. Let's change the question up. What is your ideal liquid core dice set?
I don't know. I just know that the liquid core is beautiful.
You just
Maybe like a fiery like lava colored core from I could use them for my my dragonborn fighter. That'd be cool.
it's like it's like you're
Hank, I
looking
think I
at your
just found the set you were talking about. Have you seen this set? Is that why you described it that way?
there's a set that matches that.
Yes.
Wait, there's
glow
a
in the
I love
glow
that.
in the dark, liquid core, resin engraved jellyfish.
Could you send me the
jellyfish set.
link? Wait,
It
I
literally, I
That's
looked up
amazing.
liquid core, clicked the first link, and it was the 5th result.
I
Like I
oh
am
my-
not even joking right now.
Please
I'm
tell-
dropping it in the muted chat right now.
I need to see this.
Like
Oh my
it's
Oh,
$64 for a full set,
64 for that?
but like,
But it looks so
God.
good.
damn, is it beautiful?
I'm gonna flat out say this. I'm actually willing to put aside money to get that set. I think 63 is
fucking
actually worth it. I think it's worth it. Help justify this purchase.
Oh
That's-
my
that's-
lord!
that
Like,
is
so
That is so
ridiculously accurate.
not. That is so not what this episode is about.
That's just a life hack, you know.
Jesus.
Thanks.
We set the
Thanks.
tone.
Like, look at the picture between the daily light and the in the night. Like,
In the night. Oh.
wait, they glow blue. This is what I wanted from that initial set. Like, oh my god.
Sorry, this really just turned into us gushing over dice.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
I
well,
still don't think I would buy those, but those are really sick.
those are really sick. Oh my goodness.
That's almost the perfect blue for Druken, actually.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Sierra just said that they would give Izzy their kidney so that they could sell the kidney for the dice. Oh my
That's
god.
that's funny. All right. Well, we're definitely gonna look more at those dice off the recording session. But that was okay.
Oh my gosh.
But there is a certain individual that does want to talk with the both of you.
Oh Christ.
God damn it, Denise.
No,
Swear.
Denise is not here. Is actually the other one that has been unfortunately killed. I did have to revive him a little bit and give him back his glasses.
Oh no.
Welcome back, Donovan.
Yes, so I'm actually gonna.
Donnie.
Here, you can take. You can. Here,
Long
you can
live
take the
Donnie.
chair. Yep, you can just sit right here and talk into this mic. Donovan Damien, but you can call me Donnie for short, so you can call me DD for real short. All right.
Mm.
Very nice to see you too.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, an arrow through the head was certainly not my way to go, but it was. How are the two of you, Varus, Jurgen?
Druken's in shambles.
Why are you in shambles, dear boy?
Talk to your friend.
Varys, what has happened?
uh, Teddy bit him unintentionally.
After I was hit with an earthquake.
I'm sorry. You, hmm. Teddy bit Drugan.
Yeah, they're trying to. So
Did
someone was trying.
Did you feed them properly?
Listen to my explanation first, Donnie.
Okay.
Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Someone had him by the throat.
I see.
Teddy was trying to bite his arm to release him.
Fair strategy.
And Teddy miscalculated just a little bit.
And there's the failure in execution.
Yeah. And you know how strong Teddy can be.
I'm well aware. I challenged them to a bit of a wrestling match just to test my own strength, and that was very much a big mistake on my part.
Yeah, Teddy was a little bit enraged. Like they went full crunch. Like
A
I'm
little
talking, like,
enraged.
they were talking like full crunch, like all the power behind the bite. Like,
Oh.
full jaw lock there. Like,
But
it wasn't pretty.
But you're fine now.
I mean, after he died, he's fine.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Dear boy, did you actually die?
You know.
Oh my.
Donnie, do you not see the runes?
Oh my goodness, you... Alright, well, I have not seen those in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not since seeing Brandy in that state.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
The fuck did you just say to me?
Brandy in that state.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I think we should have discussed this in private.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about that. Kind of sprung that up on you.
That impression.
Yes, she was possessed.
So now that I just now found my one daughter, now you're gonna spring that on me about the other one?
Dear boy, pray for me. Varys, I'm gonna be very blunt with you. Emily has been in contact with Brandy even after her departure.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy may or may not have been developing on her own. And she may not be fully herself, but she is alive and still kicking. Just not as the dear woman that we've attempted to raise her as. Let's get back to the original topic on hand. The dagger. Who has it?
Varys does.
Mm-hmm. This
Good.
dagger?
Yes. Please don't use that against me. I know I just sprung that up on you, but I strongly suggest that you
give me a
don't do
good
that.
reason not to.
Well, I do have some information in terms of Emily. That's the whole reason why I'm here. And actually, I have information for you, Drukin. That's why I'm also here.
You better start talking.
Alright. Emily. Part of her soul is not with her.
Yes, I can tell.
Shit.
Good. It's a good thing that you could tell. Which means you also know where her other half is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What you don't know is that part of Emily's part is not with her as well. The thing that we were not aware when we both rescued both Emily and Brandy was that they made a blood pact. Anywhere she goes, she can also sense and feels whatever Brandy is feeling. So, as it may come to be, that panther charm that you had on her it was not the only charm that was directly linked to another person. She had a charm on her as well that is linked to Brandy too.
Hmm.
That charm between her and Brandy did not break. Yours did.
Right. Which
In
is why I'm here.
in research times, when a charm breaks over another, that usually means that the bond has not fully been established. You might want to talk with her when you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Trukin, dear boy. Oh goodness.
Yes.
Your father. He's a good man.
He is.
I know your father quite a bit. Not from a talking manner, but from an observant manner.
I'm watching my father.
Your father intrigues me, Drukin.
In what way?
In a creepy way, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Your father reminds me of someone that I've encountered quite a bit back.
And who might that be?
A good colleague of mine named Honey. Cheerful soul, great inventor, had a squid companion. I believe I was an octopus. Can't quite tell sometimes from the anatomy. But your father reminds me distinctly of her. And ran some tests, and though there is no relation, there is, well, answer me this. What does your father do for a living?
He runs a general store.
A what?
A general store.
Does your father have any talents as a innovator of that sort?
Not to my knowledge. He
Good.
have studied magic. Not a very talented man in that regard. But
To the
always
naked
encouraged me.
To the naked eye, he's seen as a mediocre man.
As a regular man?
Sure,
Yes.
regular.
Just, there's nothing exceptional about him. He's a kind soul.
Good. He's rinsed. That's good. Then I believe I know what I need to do in my lifetime. Well, not this one, but in another realm. But I want you to reach out, and I need you to speak with your father.
I can try. I don't know
Good.
what success I'll have,
Good.
given my current state.
Dear boy, you're gonna be fine. Just make sure you pay attention. That is all I will say. But I believe I'm already overstaying my welcome, so I shall return at another time, at another place. And I hope that you'll provide me with an even more cheerful update than the one that you just provided me. Oh, Varys.
Mm-hmm.
Nirm's doing okay. His soul is currently slaying quite a few people in the Nine Hells, and Shadowfell is quickly becoming his place of euphoria.
Good for him.
Indeed. Oh. He's also been roaming around recently.
Which one?
The pacifist.
Of course. It's not like he can do much harm.
Keep an eye out, that's all I ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done here. You can take over the chair. Thanks. Okay. Well, at the very least, he didn't take any of my drinks, but he did take a couple pieces of paper, and he took my favorite pen. He took my favorite pen. That kind of sucks. Okay. Oh, it was a ballpoint, too. Frick. Alright, so. I hope that y'all enjoyed your time. I don't really know what to really think about that, if I'm being honest. Kind of left in a rather suspicious manner, but I don't really know how to bring about that.
He was scared of getting shanked. Don't worry about it.
What did you
I
do?
think he was scared of getting mauled by Teddy, like some of the other people here.
Oh!
Yeah, that could be true.
Okay then. Well, we are getting close to the end of the podcast, but I do want to talk to y'all about one more thing, and it is talking about theorizing, because as you know, we do go through the session, and then afterwards I reveal to you what the title of the next session is going to be. So I do want to get y'all's initial thoughts about it. Now, of course, this isn't immediately after the campaign, but at least y'all can take your time and kind of speak into the ether for a little bit, because episode 8 is called Not Empty Anymore. And I kind of want to hear if y'all have any thoughts about that.
I honestly don't know.
It's a confusing one, because it can go a
Yeah.
lot of places. There's definitely a lot of references that could be made. There's definitely a lot of theories that could be placed. I think the biggest one that I'm hearing right now from other people, because I do talk to others outside of this group to kind of hear their theories, because I do have a couple people that are listening pretty consistently, and one of the theories that was brought up was Preacher Davis potentially being a construct himself, and his core being something that will traumatize the group. And I find that to be a little interesting and a bit compelling too, to think of Preacher Davis as a potential construct. Um, Another is potentially something to do with Alvarez or Terrell, as far as them kind of overcoming some stuff and not feeling empty in terms of like a spiritual sense. But I don't know. Scorch, I know you say you didn't have much in mind, or maybe it's just something that your brain isn't really wrapping itself around, which I could totally get, because it is very vague. But
Yeah.
like, what's who do you think, or who do you believe, if you can, is going to be affected mostly by this?
I don't know. I mean, like you said, it could be very obviously going towards Dusk or Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something. What it usually is nothing like what we seem to think is going to happen whenever we're like theorizing, or at least as far as I'm concerned, it's never what I think is going to happen when I'm theorizing about the following episode.
Oh yeah, it's
So I don't know.
it's one of those things where, you know, even when you really think about it, it's definitely gonna continue to make you question about what is actually gonna go down. But
Yeah.
um, what I can reveal to the both, unless Robert, do you have any?
I do not.
So I know for a fact that this is going to be a significant episode coming up, as I've mentioned at the beginning. But I think it's also important that we build suspense, we build tension as well. Because even with the efforts that I put in, sometimes you can't help but ask for just a little bit more. And so, what I'm actually going to do to kind of start, I guess, the final portion of this podcast, which obviously, and first and foremost, thank you to you two, and thank you to the spectating homies Izzy and Sierra for being here. Because honestly, I really do enjoy doing this podcast. I think having an open environment to kind of have this conversation, and trust me, I did like the pilot episode where we talked immediately after the campaign, but
Yeah.
this format is truly turning into something that I'm very comfortable with, and it's going to be the format pretty much throughout the remainder of this campaign.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
But I can't help but think that at some point, I'm also very excited to be a player with y'all, because we mentioned it a little bit at the last session, and I can't help but think about the fact that I don't think I've been a player in someone's campaign in 3.5 years now.
Right.
Yeah, since campus.
It's so weird saying that, but I've already gotten a character on standby, and I would actually like to share. Would y'all like to hear a bit of a backstory?
I would love to.
Okay, because this is something that I really wanted to talk about, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it on podcast or like off session, but I don't know. I kind of want to spill it, and I appreciate
Go for it.
All right,
this
spill.
podcast, all things D&D.
Spill it, Goral.
All right, so hello, my name is Gareth Tavish. I want you to know that yes, I do acknowledge you as a companion in this group, but I ask that you do not put me on the same pedestal of value as you are. You know, ultimately, I've been extricated from my own family. Growing up in a family of tieflings, I was expected to do quite a bit, but being a rather lame individual in my household and not having the level of discipline as a sorcerer as they wish for me to be, I decided to enroll in a butler school in hopes that I can practice my discipline so that way I can offer my services. But I kind of failed at the final exam, and being sent on exile was certainly not the best option. So honestly, the only reason why I joined this group was to kind of practice those disciplines in hopes that I could be somewhat worthy to a person, let alone a group. So please, until I can feel like I'm confident in saying that I'm doing a good job, I'd rather you just acknowledge me in silence.
I don't think that'll be too much of an issue.
Thank you. So yeah, Gareth Tavish, he's so the way I made him a level 10, he is a subclass ranger rogue. His expertise is in archery. His basically character combative style is effective and efficient. So you're going to see him do a lot of grapple checks and restraining a lot of people. He's actually going to use a lot of his actions to actually restrain opponents so that way people can get advantage on their attack rolls. So he's going to be like a support damage player, kind of speaking in Overwatch terms. Sorry about that.
Right.
His weapon is a trident and a longbow. And his character alignment is lawful good. So you're gonna see a more kind of timid side to him, but you're also going to see him as a very intellectual person, but is intellectually timid. That is the goal, and I would love to see him develop throughout with whatever character dynamic I get to be a part of. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'll die.
Trying not to.
Yeah, get in line.
Trying not to. Oh, the line's looking pretty long. Oh man. Yeah. He's Finnegan O'Darren Katniss Everdean's love child. Good gracious. Is it really? Oh my goodness. You know, I can see it. I can see it. All right. So I did say I was gonna pretty much gonna do this for y'all, but I'm gonna go ahead and put I'm actually gonna put in song lyrics that actually is going to be a unique song that's going to be played at the start before we start the recording. But I want y'all to pay attention to those lyrics. I'm not going to read them out loud. You can do it on your own time. But a little bit of a piece, puzzle piece. As we await for episode 8. But as far as awaiting right now, I think y'all have waited long enough. Y'all got your donuts. We still gotta finish them off. So we're gonna end off the session by rolling a d20 to see what type of donut you are actually gonna get. So, Scorch, you got yourself a sourdough donut. Robert, you got yourself a Long John donut. Let's see what type of donuts are gonna be produced.
12.
12.
There's
All right.
only one correct answer here.
Chocolate
Let's
cake
see.
donut.
Is that a nat 20? It kind of got stuck, but the prominent number there is a 20.
Okay.
I think we called it at 20.
I'm calling it a nat 20.
I rolled a 2, but that's definitely a 20, right?
All right. All right. So, Scorch, you rolled a 2.
No, I rolled 12.
Oh, a 12. Okay. So, Scorch, I want you to look up what a malasada is, because that is
Oh, I think I
exactly
know what
what you get. Malasada. That is the type of donut that you just got. Robert, for your Long John donut, you got yourself a red velvet donut with a cream cheese filling with a white chocolate glaze on top. That's
Mhm.
actually not bad for a donut.
That really isn't. I was gonna say that there was only one correct option, but maybe there were two.
Oh.
Maybe there were two correct options.
Were you gonna
You
go for
know?
an eclair?
Sierra's pissed that you're not sharing the donuts with the muted ones. Meet her fury.
I stood it fast enough and you weren't.
And Izzy.
Y'all can roll for your donuts too. Gosh.
D6 and a D20.
You can roll a d6 and then you can roll a d20.
Here. Honey, I will roll
That
yours.
gif.
I love that gif. I really like that
If I can
gif.
find the 20 in this bag. There it is. Okay.
Yes, and we are exactly ending this podcast talking about donuts.
Okay, Sierra's 6 is a 1. Or 20 is a 15.
Oh,
Okay.
you want me to roll for you?
Alright. 1.
Busy.
Okay, 1. Rolled a 1.
I got you.
Okay, so Sierra got a 1.
Yes. And then
Okay,
15.
Sierra got a cake donut.
Oh.
Alright, and the 15. Alright. Oh wow.
Chocolate cake donut. I
It is a sea salt caramel cake donut with
Oh.
with apple
Mm.
compote on top.
Oh my god.
Are we re-rolling duplicates?
No, it could be the
No?
same. It could be the same.
Okay.
Yep.
So Izzy's D6 was a 1.
Okay, cake donut.
Yep. And the D20 was an 8.
8. All right. Oh wow. Okay, so all right. Well, I hope you like white chocolate. All right. We got a white chocolate raspberry cake donut with raspberry chunks and freezed and liquid nitrogen raspberry pieces sprinkled on top with a chocolate frosting.
Izzy, the frozen raspberries are just like ice.
That's actually pretty
Ah,
good.
yeah.
We got some good donuts.
Oh
So,
yeah.
all right, so let's kind of run down the list. We got Scorch, you got a malasada, which is
And these
pretty
look
darn
like-
good.
Yeah.
And it's a good donut.
Yeah.
Robert, you got a Long John red velvet.
Yeah.
with cream cheese custard filling. I've had one of those before, and it. Ooh. I would fight someone for those. Sierra, you came in clutch with a caramel apple donut. Caramel cake donut with apple compote. And then Izzy coming in clutch with a white chocolate raspberry donut with liquid nitrogen raspberry pieces and a white chocolate frosting. Honestly, I would eat all four. I would definitely eat all four. But if I'm gonna have to fight someone for one of them, I'm sorry, but Scorch, we're gonna have to throw hands. Malasadas are just top tier for me. Gosh. Well, alright, that wraps up. Well, now I wrapped up the podcast hungry, but that's my fault. Don't care.
It is your fault.
Don't care. Thank you all for tuning into this podcast, Death, Dice, and Donuts. We will be back next week. And, of course, podcasts are going to be uploaded Sunday nights, and campaign episodes are going to be uploaded Monday nights. I look forward to hear back even more from y'all, and I look forward to continuing the story with everyone else. So that being said, Big White, signing off. Take care. Donuts.